Just Comics. Welcome to Just Comics. I'm Seth.
And I'm Steve. And today we are reading something just a little bit different. This is the adaptation to the movie Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. Came out in 1994. Written by Kelly Puckett. Pencils by Mike Proback. Inks by Rick Burchett.
Yes, and this actually came to us from a comment left on the Let's Rank All the Batman Live-Action TV Suits by KJ Magras, who said, "Can you cover the Batman Mask the Phantasm?" And we said, yes. Yes, we can. It might be a little bit, but we'll do it. And we're doing it.
Yeah, so all you got to do, if you want to request something, go ahead, drop a comment below, and if we can work it in, we will absolutely do so. While you're there, please remember we are one of the smaller channels on YouTube, so if you could hit that subscribe button, we would greatly appreciate it. It is a free thing that you could do that helps the channel out tremendously.
Yes, like, subscribe.
All right, so it starts out, it's a dark night in Gotham City.
Really, a dark night in Gotham City. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's always a dark night in Gotham City, and we have
the Dark Knight of Gotham City
crashing some mobsters.
Like he does. It's the Bat! And of course, the first thing to do is shoot at him, which is always works every time.
I mean, he's not Superman. He's not bulletproof.
No, but he's a ninja.
So now we have a new mysterious creature coming up, and he's all like,
Chucky Saw.
Batman!
And then he shoots this
Nope,
guy.
not Batman.
Your angel of death awaits.
You ain't the Bat!
This guy's freaking out, man. I would too.
Who are you? What do you want?
I want you, Chucky boy.
The Phantasm is this particular character, and it's very reminiscent of an actual Batman book called Batman Year 2. It's pretty famous because Todd McFarlane drew Batman in some of those issues. But in any case, there's a character called the Reaper in Batman Year 2, and it's a very similar aesthetic. Skull-like mask. Of course, he has the little scythe. What is it called?
Scythe, yeah. Scythe. Death has scythes.
So, and then I felt like also with the love interest that's in this story, also very reminiscent of the love interest that was in the Batman Year 2.
But which came first?
Batman Year 2 came first, so I have a feeling that this was not, it's not a direct adaptation, but I feel like it was maybe inspired by Batman Year 2, with one scene in particular that felt very much like Batman Year 1 to me, and I'll point that out when we get to that later on.
All right. I know nothing about this, so I'm interested.
Okay, so Chucky Saul's car drives out of one building and smashes into the other.
And of course, everyone sees Batman and assume that it's his fault.
Yeah, so Batman's like trying to get out of there. He's wondering, what happened. He doesn't even know. But then we cut to the next morning and we have the district attorney who is wanting to go after Batman.
Like you do.
But, Gordon, he's not having none of that.
Of course not. Gordon and Batman are BFFs.
Yeah, so he's going,
I'm sorry, Councilman, but you can't blame Batman for what happened to Chucky Saw.
Why not? He's a loose cannon, Commissioner. A lot of people think Batman's as unstable as the crooks he brings in.
And then, of course, then we cut to the Batcave. We have Alfred and Batman watching this on the Bat computer.
I love Batman. I love Alfred so much. He's just a sarcastic asshole. It's great.
My favorite line here is,
Such rot, sir. Why, you're the very model of sanity. Oh, by the way, I've pressed your tights and put away your exploding gas balls.
Yeah.
And then there's the smirk on Bruce Wayne's face because he knows that Alfred's just being such a smartass.
Yes, as the British would say, he's taking the piss.
Yeah. All right, so Batman's analyzing some residue off the glass from Chucky Soul's car. And then we cut away from all of that to
An airplane.
And on that airplane, we see the councilman who was going after Batman talking to somebody. And then we find out
This somebody apparently knows Bruce Wayne, and then this very female someone. What's that about?
Bruce Wayne, women.
That's exactly. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Speaking of being a billionaire playboy, we now cut to Bruce Wayne's mansion. He's having a party, and he's got women flocking around him.
Yes, he does.
Until one throws a drink in his face.
You'd think he'd be used to that.
Yeah. Then the councilman pops up.
Really, Bruce, it's almost as if you picked them because you know there's no chance for a serious relationship.
What a jerk.
Yep. Except for one girl.
Andrea.
Yes, and then we cut to a flashback. It's not as clear in the comic book that we're cutting to a flashback.
It's really not. The flashbacks, you kind of have to go, oh, it's a flashback. I get it.
Yeah, where if you watch the movie, you'll absolutely be able to see that it's a flashback. So there's an actual transition and things like that. So, but it shows Bruce Wayne. He's staring at the grave, but he hears somebody talking, and it's Andrea, and he's like,
Yeah, she's talking to her dead mother.
yeah.
And it's like, oh, hey, Mom. Look, it's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, and then so she's like, "Hey,
It's just that when I talk to her out loud, I can imagine how she'd reply. I can hear her, like she's right there.
and Bruce is like,
I talked to my parents.
What'd you say?
I made a vow, a secret one.
Ooh, a man of mystery.
and so she introduces herself as Andrea Beaumont, and now we're introduced to that character who was on the plane.
They're the same character?
I know, shocking.
I'm shocked.
After quite a good bit of flirting and some nice quippy one-backs from Andrea, she drives off. Now we are at Big Hat.
Big Hat.
I'm guessing they sell hats.
Yes.
And this is still part of the flashback. So this is Bruce Wayne on his first night out before he realizes that he needs to actually scare people.
Yes, this part he's basically just doing his ninja thing with throwing stars, but no one's really afraid of a ninja with, throwing stars.
Yeah, they have guns.
They do. And he has shuriken.
So actually does a good job taking them out. And he realizes that he's just missing one little thing.
I want to interrupt you. I think this is hilarious because he's all like, on your stomachs, arms spread. And then he takes them down and he goes, yes! Like, who is this even? This isn't Batman. It's weird.
I mean, it's Batman smiling. He's talking to Alfred again. This is where Batman, or Bruce Wayne, realizes he needs to be able to strike fear in them from the start, but they have to postpone their conversation because Andrea shows up. It seems like Bruce Wayne's just in this situation right here where, like, no matter who he talks to, someone's just got some quips on that boy. Alfred, Andrea, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So he's talking about how he's doing jujitsu. She's like,
It's been 3 days since we met and still no calls. I figured you must be dead or something.
You expect every guy you meet to call you up?
The ones that are smart enough to dial a phone.
Well, then she asks what he's doing, and of course he's being a smartass and saying, oh, you wouldn't understand. It's martial art from Okinawa. The moves require complete concentration. And then she, tosses him to the ground. It's great.
but here's the thing is he laughs.
He does.
Bruce Wayne is smiling and laughing at this point in his life.
This is before he became all dark and broody and angsty all the time.
So he wasn't the Dark Knight yet?
The Light Knight.
There you go. All right. So then we cut back to present day. We have some mobsters visiting Chucky's grave. He was the gangster that died in the beginning of the book. And then Phantasm, he comes after this particular mob guy and chases the mob guy into an open grave and then throws a big statue on him. So this is Batman the Animated Series where people die.
Yes. One of the very few animated series that go there.
They kept it PG-13, of course. Like, you don't see the actual deaths. You don't see the blood, nothing like that. So the boys, so to speak, that were with the mob guy, they're trying to figure out what's going on. They see a Phantasm. They think it's the Batman. They shoot. Nothing happens. Cut away again to the next day. The book moves really, really fast because there's a lot of ground to cover because it's trying to cover an 80-minute animated movie.
I think it does a pretty good job.
Oh, yeah. It's stuck very close. There might be some scenes that are just ever so slightly abbreviated, but
Yeah.
it's almost beat for beat this exact same story.
Yeah, so we're back in the police department, and they're all like, we have to go after Batman. He's killing people. And Gordon's like,
The Batman does not kill, period.
Batman's waiting outside so he can talk to Gordon, but everybody else thinks they're being really smart, and they go ahead and light up the bat signal, thinking
just
they're
waiting for him.
Yeah, but he doesn't show. Instead, he's back to picking up some clues. He went back to the graveyard, and then he hears somebody talking again, and it's Andrea talking to her mom.
Yes, and Andrea sees this dark, mysterious figure standing next to Wayne grave and immediately jumps to the conclusion that it's Bruce.
Well, she kind of has history with Bruce Wayne, though, so she already kind of knows, but
She can smell him.
so she's having dinner with the councilman, and she's kind of distracted as he's just talking and talking. And then Batman's outside. He's creeping on him.
Yeah, he's stalking, just watching through his binoculars, stalking his ex like you do.
Well, I mean, cell phones weren't really a thing back then,
That's true.
so he couldn't drunk text her.
I would love to see what a drunk text from Bruce Wayne looks like.
So
Anyway,
we have another flashback.
a date at Gotham World's Fair.
In this World's Fair, it's a typical kind of date thing, but then Bruce gets a little distracted by a particular car.
A very, very particular car.
But we don't know what that is yet.
No clue.
We just know there's a giant turbine.
It says giant turbine.
So I don't know what giant turbines have to do with the future. But anyway.
Wind power.
So Bruce Wayne agrees to meet Andrea's dad. She's able to call him from the car because there's a phone in the car.
And Bruce is totally not sweating. Not at all. Not one bit.
They meet the dad. We are introduced to the guy who will become the councilman in the present part of the story.
At last, I meet the elusive Bruce Wayne.
Nice to meet you, sir.
Sir? Oh, don't be so formal, Bruce. Andrea's told me so much about you, I feel like we're practically family.
Daddy.
He tells Bruce to call him Carl, but then they're interrupted, and we start seeing some familiar gangster-like faces.
If Mr. Valestra says he has an appointment, Virginia, then Mr. Valestra has an appointment.
That's what I like about your pop, kiddo. He knows his priorities.
He's drawing out designs for the costume, then he's wondering, like, is he crazy? And she happened to be holding on the phone. Bruce Wayne just can't take the call. He doesn't even know what to say.
Like, do I want to be with her? Do I want to be vengeance?
And so he goes to talk to his parents. It's pouring rain. And he gives this very poignant speech here.
It doesn't mean I don't care anymore. I don't want to let you down, honest, but it just doesn't hurt so bad anymore. You can understand that, can't you? I know I made a promise, but I didn't see this coming. I didn't count on being happy. Please, tell me that it's okay.
Maybe they already have. Maybe they sent me.
And that was honestly just such a great moment.
Really, it was.
But this is the thing. It's like Batman is really just a very tortured soul.
He really is. I mean, he didn't expect to be happy. Like, this is how much this is wrecking him.
There's things about this show that I've always loved. Kevin Conroy's still the voice of Batman in my head when I read Batman. This moment, it's such a small moment, but it says so much, and it shows that they get it.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of getting it, we are cutting to the councilman walking down the street, and Salvador pulls up. He's wondering, hey, what are you going to do about Batman? He's killing off the old gang, which, as we pointed out earlier, the councilman was kind of involved with all of that.
Mm-hmm, it was.
And so he's coughing, hacking up, wheezing, and councilman's just like, I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's not very healthy in here.
Yeah. And then we cut back to the Batcave.
Yes, where Batman is going over the people who were killed.
And he's just trying to find that connection, and he found it. So he's going to go out. He tells Alfred,
Sal's having company tonight. Don't wait up.
Meaning, I trust that once you're done with him, you'll be seeing her?
wrong. All right, so he's snooping around. He finds this photo, and it's got Andrea's dad with all the gangsters. And then we have another flashback.
Yes, it's a lighthouse where Bruce gets down on one knee and can't come up with the thing you're supposed to say. And it's just like, here, you get the idea. What do you say?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on, Bruce.
And then right when she accepts, a bunch of bats start flying up.
Which startles them.
And then we cut over to Bruce dropping Andrea off. There's an argument going on inside the house. And again, we see that one face from this one guy here with
Very
the sharp,
shady
pointy
looking.
nose.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Looks
And
like he'd have a nice smile.
Maybe.
Maybe.
So Bruce Wayne now discovers a bat cave.
You mean a cave with bats in it?
That would be a bat cave.
That would be the Bat Cave.
And Alfred is unfortunately dropping off a small package, which was the ring that he just proposed to Andrea with.
Left with Dad, too young, need time, forget about me.
Bruce Wayne got his inspiration.
My God.
So now we're going to cut back over to present day World's Fair. We got Saul. He's tracking down the Joker. So Joker does his usual kind of spiel like,
Gasp! Can it be? Old Sally the Weezer Valestra!
Hello, Joker. Didn't mean to drop by unannounced.
Oh, Salvatore! Why so formal? Mi Casa Nostra es su Casa Nostra.
yeah.
Oh, Joker.
Yeah. So when they come into his quote-unquote living room,
Honey, I'm home!
Yes, it's that maid robot from the World's Fair.
and she's still chopping up the
Hazel.
exact same stuff.
Of course.
So you get a few more Joker puns and lines here,
Yes.
and now we just come to the conclusion that Sal wants to hire Joker because Batman's gone nuts.
I think this is funny right here. He goes, have a seat. Tell me what's on your so-called mind. Like, he doesn't even, like, consider Sal having a mind. It's great.
Yeah. So we get one more clue about why Joker is here. He's like,
Think, you fool. Once he gets me, how long till he gets you? You know what I'm talking about. Your hands are just as dirty. Dirtier. Don't touch me, old man.
I don't know where you've been.
No, it's hilarious.
yeah. And we're going to cut away, and we have the councilman taking Andrea home. He's trying to worm his way in for the night with her, but she blows him off. She senses something.
Yes, someone standing in her living room, an intruder
Yes. And
who
then,
doesn't knock.
Yeah, apparently not. So she doesn't even look at the picture, just says she doesn't know it, but then he calls her out on it. And so then he starts questioning her about her father. And that's when he basically admitted that he can read lips and he was creeping on her.
She gets pissed, of course, and tells him, get out!
So, and then she really gives a harsh line here. So, because Batman's like,
You still following your dad's orders?
The way I see it, the only one in this room controlled by his parents is you.
That's harsh.
and now we get Phantasm popping in on Saul Valestro. And look, there's a smile on his face now.
Big L grin.
And then all of a sudden, there is a voice coming from a bomb strapped to Sal's chest. And he's basically saying, well, this new guy ain't Batman, and soon everybody's going to get to see because he's going to be spread all over town.
Yes, to say nothing of his legs and feet and head and spleen.
Yeah. And so now Batman finally catches up with Phantasm. Phantasm gets a good lick in, has a few tricks that Batman doesn't have.
Yes, like going through solid objects.
So now there's the police helicopter spot Batman. This pot right here reminds me a lot of a scene in Batman Year One.
There he is, man.
Hey, wait! You jerk! Get a light up there! gonna cut that bastard in half.
He fakes them out by putting his cape and cowl on something, so it looks like he's flying out of the building.
Yes.
So this way Bruce can run out the back. Andrea shows up.
And tells him to get on. She doesn't even look surprised that he's in a Batman suit. He's just like, yeah, get on.
He's a little suspicious. He's like, you have an excellent sense of timing.
Well, it was all over TV. I had to do something.
Well, I'm grateful, of course, but I still need to know why you're not telling me the truth about your father. So, and then she proposes that the world's greatest detective is going to figure it out anyway, so she goes ahead, tells him the truth about what was going on. And so that night, Bruce dropped her off. The gangsters were arguing. Apparently, her father owes Salvador a lot of money, swears that he will go ahead and he will get him paid back in 24 hours. They're like, okay, 24 hours. So after they leave, he tells Andrea that they need to pack, they got to leave, because there's no way he could actually get the money because it's like tied up in like stocks and bonds and all sorts of stuff like that. And so that's why Andrea left. That's why she returned the ring back to Bruce.
That's because she and Daddy had to go on the run.
So now that Bruce gets to hear this, he's just not even suspicious of Andrea anymore. He's just kind of back to having his love goggles on.
Mm-hmm.
And
even to where he thinks that the man in the costume is her father.
So.
And she doesn't say no, but she does mislead him.
Yeah. Well, Bruce is, again, he's questioning a few things. He's like, can he make it work as Batman and have a love interest?
But then he notices something in the picture.
Maybe. Oh, no.
Joker.
So, turns out Joker is involved with all of these gangsters.
Oh, my.
Yeah, we did not see this coming.
Nope, didn't suspect it at all.
So Joker goes to see Councilman. Councilman's just like, hey, you're no friend of mine. Get out of here. And Joker, he wants to find out who iced the old gang.
Haven't you read the papers? It's Batman.
Wrong. It ain't the Bat. Nope. I've seen the guy.
You're saying it's someone else?
Yeah. Someone who wouldn't mind seeing our old pals out of the way. Maybe go sob. Me too.
So Joker has a plan. He wants to go ahead and get Andrea and him together so he can try and sabotage.
Which is poignant because he had a date with her that evening, which he sadly had to miss.
So then we cut to the councilman, and he's at the hospital. He can't stop laughing. Batman shows up. The guy could barely talk, but he figured out that he knows a little something. So, it turns out that he was able to keep in touch with them when they ran, being the Beaumonts, Andrea and her father.
Yeah.
But then the councilman's the one who sold them out, and how the gangsters were able to find the Beaumonts, kill the dad.
Because he was broke and desperate.
So Batman shows back up at Andrea's place, and then there's a phone call.
Hello? Anybody home? Listen, Boopsy, even though you never call and never write, I still got a soft spot for you. So I'm sending you a fun gift. Airmail. And there's no use jumping out the window this time, toots.
But Batman does jump out the window.
This time.
And he does make it, barely. So Phantasm shows up at Joker's place. And Joker basically just calls her out on being the Phantasm. So she just reveals herself right there as being Phantasm this whole time.
And she takes off her mask. Oh, doesn't even try to deny it. Just, oh yeah, it's me.
So her and Joker have a little bit of a fight, and Joker spits some of his poison, his acid, out of his flower. She blocks it, takes off her gauntlet.
Throws that at him.
And then Hazel goes and attacks.
With her kitchen knife. Yeah, it's great. And she's also laughing. That's not creepy.
No, not at all. So he jumps out the window. Now, there is a scene that is amazing in the movie that they did not do here, and I have to point this out. So there's a spot where they're fighting. She's on top of the Joker. he's reaching behind him on the table to find a weapon to hit her with, and instead of grabbing the knife, he grabs a big old log of salami and whacks her over the face with it. Remember, there was a giant turbine?
There was a giant turbine.
And giant turbine now shows up. Joker uses it to try and suck her in. He wants to dice her up.
I really love that remote control. It's got 2 buttons. I'm guessing one's on, the other's off.
I mean, that would probably be a pretty good guess. And then Batman pulls up on a bat cycle. He crashes it into the turbine, so it shuts down. He tries to have a little bit of a heart-to-heart, but she's just...
They took everything, Bruce. My dad, my life, you. I'm not saying it's right or even sane, but it's all I've got left. So either help me or get out of the way.
But Andy, what will vengeance solve?
If anyone knows the answer to that, Bruce, it's you.
Leave, Andy. Now. Please.
So Joker sees Batman, and he's excited to see him.
Yoo-hoo, over here.
And so Batman, a giant in a tiny city. Joker bashes him over the head with a building. Joker goes to fly away. Batman is able to run up a rocket, jump, catch him. And Joker's just like, you don't know when to quit, do you? You're crazy. I'm the only chance of us getting out of here. Now, the reason why Joker's trying to get away is because he filled all the tunnels with high explosives.
Oh, yes. When you can't beat him, blow him up.
That's basically it. And so Batman takes Joker back down. Andrea shows back up.
Yes. Oh, and Joker's like, oh, for once I'm stuck without a punchline, which is great.
So Batman warns Andrea to get out of here. Place is gonna explode. And then she's just basically...
No. One way or another, it ends tonight.
Andrea! Like Rocky. Oh!
The whole place goes up. Bruce is a bit sad that he couldn't save her.
A bit, sure, yeah.
You know, it only bothered him slightly.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't save her, Alfred.
I don't think she wanted to be saved, sir. Vengeance blackens the soul, Bruce. I always feared you would become that which you fought against. You walk the edge of that abyss every night. But you haven't fallen in, and I thank heaven for that. But Andrea fell into that pit years ago. And no one, not even you, could have pulled her back.
And that's the thing. It's like, even though this was technically a kid's cartoon, it didn't talk down to the kid. It had great dialogue, character beats, character moments, plots. Honestly, like the show is so influential that they actually changed some of the comic books to match the cartoon.
Which is amazing.
That's how good this was. So if you ever wonder why we do so much Paul Dini on this channel, Paul Dini was one of the writers of this movie, of this series. He created Harley Quinn. I'm sure you may have heard of that character.
Maybe. I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell.
But anyway, going back into the story, Bruce notices a glimmer in the Batcave. He runs up, sees that it is the photo of him and Andrea, and then we cut away to a ship.
Yeah, where some guy in a goofy hat's trying to hit on Andrea, apparently, and he says, oh, I'm sorry, do you want to be alone? And of course she says, I am.
And then we have the bat signal and Batman.
Yes.
The end. So what were your overall impressions on this book, Seth, being that we've never done one like this?
I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I did not watch it in advance like you did. I meant to. It's just ADHD. So I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was a good book, and I'm glad it was recommended.
I kind of put a lot of my feelings already out there in the video, so I guess that means we're just going to put yet another Just Comics video to bed. So please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your dog, I guess. You can put our videos on so your pets can watch them while you're not at home. Your pets will love us. I promise.
We even got a video on Crypto, the super dog.
Exactly.
Perfect one for your dogs to watch.
Or cats if they don't like dogs.
Yeah. So, and anyway, You guys take care wherever you're at.
And we'll see you next time on Just Comics. Ba-da-da-da.